Peter Kendall, European Commission proposals out today on reforming the Common Agricultural Policy. Overall, is it good or bad for our farmers?
I think the direction of travel is very worrying. We've supported the reform in the past that make farmers respond to markets, that help us be more efficient and more competitive. And so many of the proposals we've heard today look like trying to turn the clock back, to wrap farmers in green tape in regulation. And at a time when we need to be producing more food, the European economy needs a kickstart, more jobs to be created, the Commission is talking about wrapping us in green tape and actually restricting businesses' ability to grow and become more dynamic. So overall, we're very concerned.
You're talking about green tape. Can you give an example?
Yeah, in the UK, for example, we have a system where farmers tend to work together. They have contract farming agreements. So one farm, relatively smaller farm, will put his farm in with somebody else. Now, the rules are at the moment you've got to have 3 types of crop. So whereas at the moment you might have wheat on that one farm, you've now got to break it up into small bits. The Commission is talking about making that farm have 7% of his land into environmental measures. At a time when consumers are feeling the pinch with food inflation, we should be producing more food and not less. So this is a proposal that's full of contradictions and I think sending the wrong messages to both farmers and taxpayers who are trying to help the industry become more competitive and efficient for the future.
I mean, that 7% set aside that you referred to there, is that going to have an impact on the amount of food that farmers can produce and therefore the price that you and I pay in the supermarket?
We haven't seen all the detail, but if you took that across the whole of the European Union and it wasn't offset by woods and hedgerows and what have you, even if it was 5% land taken out of production, that's a phenomenal amount of grain. And bearing in mind, we're already producing less than we're consuming many of the last 7 or 8 years. So we do think farmers should be able to respond to the market and not have regulation tying them down and making them less competitive.
What about the amount of money that we're going to get in the UK and farmers individually? Are we going to see a big change there?
Actually, I'm not over concerned about the size of the pot farmers get, because I see the rest of the country having big cuts. I see people losing their jobs. What I want, if the European Union decides the pot's going to be 10% smaller or 20% smaller, let's just make sure we have a fair set of rules that gives farmers the right encouragement to build businesses and to compete and produce food in a cost-effective way. So the budget, although it is important, it's very secondary to getting the right set of rules and the right signals to farmers and their farms.
Just how important is it for farmers to get this right at the end of the day? There is a long lawmaking process now, but just how important are these payments for the survival of farms in the UK?
I think the message is most important, because if we have a commission that takes the view that European agriculture can never be competitive, that sends a horrible signal to young farmers of the future. I want young farmers to see this as an exciting, innovative industry that's going to be really central to the big challenges we all face going forward, whether it's energy, food, water, sustainability, etc. And if all we do is say it's about propping people up, you won't find young, innovative people wanting to build a career in farming.
Do you want to go forward in the future to a position where we don't need, through this Common Agricultural Policy, to provide this financial support to farmers?
There's distortions around the world. The Americans distort, there's fertiliser subsidies in India and China. But I would love there to be a market return that meant farmers didn't need to be propped up by taxpayers. I think it's a long way off, but we do aspire to get there.